Hold up. That red thing in the middle. What is that? That is called eye-catching attention, my friend.
Okay, we finally arrived to the horror of self-absorption.
Between all the cosmosis of the mismosis, we travel through space and, of course,
tea time.
Alright, so watching me drink a cup of tea isn't the most exciting thing, but you know what is?
Welcome to the dystopia, as the spaghetti monster would say. If you don't like the fact we don't have street lights here, well, move.
And after seeing all this epically fake mumbo jumbo, you realize...
I don't have a thumbnail.
So 6 years ago, when I started this channel, the videos for my thumbnails, they weren't exactly the greatest. So usually when it came to, you know, doing a video or whatever, I would take one frame out of that and just be like, okay, that's gonna be my thumbnail, let's call it a day on this. I found ways to make it fun for myself to make the thumbnail, because there's nothing like this feeling. You feel satisfied after making an awesome video, and then it turns out, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta make that thumbnail at the end. You know, when I first started this video, it was kind of interesting because I actually worked on the thumbnail before I even did the video itself, and it was an entirely different thumbnail. So this was October 7th, 2022 that I worked on this, and it looks just like a generic YouTube thumbnail. It's nothing special in my opinion, but it still pops and looks pretty good. It doesn't really reflect anything that you see in the final video itself. When I was developing the cityscape in Blender, I kind of came to the realization that I was gonna need to do a whole entire new thumbnail that sort of reflects what you're gonna see in the video itself. So this is the second idea. And I think the second idea is miles better. Definitely reflects my personality and my artistry. I'm very inspired by comic books. As you can see, I got some comic books back here and books on animation. I also got the Into the Spider-Verse poster, which it really got me into animation. But getting back to the thumbnail itself, you get the buildings, you get the planets, and then you get me as an animated character. I put as much love into it as I did, you know, making the video itself. That kind of leads me to my next point. No. But there's nothing more annoying than clickbait itself, and it feels like 10 minutes of your life was wasted just clicking on that thumbnail, and you know, it's kind of f***ed up. I'm just joking, it's not that bad, but you know, it's annoying. Obviously you want it to pop, but remain true to the essence of what the video is going to be about. So, you know, for example, my two most popular videos being the Pepsi video and the How to Make a Donut Fast video, the approach I took was make a thumbnail that reflects what you see in the actual video itself. So you're basically giving the person a pretty good hint of what they're getting themselves into, and you're not just making another hack clickbaitish thumbnail.
Wait a minute! It's quick tutorial time!
Alright, so let's get a new file. Click 1920 by 1080 for the font size, I guess. Make sure you have a reference photo so that way you can just have some blueprint to go off of. So the pen tool is going to be your best friend here. So sometimes I like to start off with the eyes. It kind of helps me come up with the idea of how to build around the character, you know, just from this one frame. Also, to kind of save yourself some time from having to recreate the same eye from a different side, all you got to do is just duplicate it, and then you can flip it over and move it to where you want it, and that way it makes the eye shapes look more symmetrical rather than one eye looks bigger than the other or smaller than the other. Once you're done with the eyes and the eyebrows, make sure to group it into a folder. Always make sure to name your shapes too, because it will just save you a lot of time. You're just gonna have hundreds of different layers on top of each other the more detail you try to go in. Start simple with the human shape. So start with the head, and then eventually you can go to shirt and then hair, and then from there you can start doing line work. Now the line work is going to help emphasize the shading a little bit more. So yeah, you know, don't put too many lines. It doesn't have to be super detailed because it's a cartoon character. Sometimes you can omit some lines. And with shading, this is going to be an important one. So kind of cut shapes and use the smudge tool and smudge it. Go from dark to light in this case, or sometimes depending on what you're using for lighting, you can go from light to dark. Really depends what you're doing. I didn't film myself doing the comic book dots, so I'll just show you that real quick. Okay, so when it comes to doing the Ben Day dots, so here, I'll just choose a pretty simple shape. You're gonna wanna get a layer, you know, after making that shape, and then we'll just call it Ben Day dots. We could use the screen tone, and then kind of maybe make it a little bit darker, and then you get something like this. So, you know, sometimes, you know, boom. I changed the eyes a little bit. I had a second attempt and they were a little too round, so I kind of figured out what my problem was. The eyes weren't slanted right here. Eyes could either make or break the character. Okay, so to wrap things up, I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds to pause this video and look at all my failed attempts at my self-portraits. 1, 2. Okay, I think that was enough time. So when it comes to, you know, designing characters or doing animation, it's not going to be perfect the first try. That's why you just keep working on things until it looks just right to you. But also, having another person's perspective rather than your own is better. Have a family member or a friend that you know will be honest with you is the way to go, in my opinion. Sometimes you get locked in your own mindset of what you think is good, but it ends up not being that good. Have fun with it. Know that you're just going to keep getting better with that mindset. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.